All right. Is mine coming through okay?
Okay, man.
Check right here with me.
Well, welcome to the fourth week of Beyond the Scoreboard. I'm your host, Mark Smothers, and I have Benjamin Smothers with me today, helping me out again this week. We'd like to thank our main sponsors here, that Bill Smith, Buick GMC, Coke, which we usually have a bottle up here. We'll try to get one here in a few minutes. And then Southern Accents, where you can just find all types of interesting things. And then today, our team of the week. This past week, team of the week was the Vinemont Eagles. So congratulations, Vinemont. Team of the week had a big win last week on the road, and now they're back home this week. Had a big win over Cordova last week on the road, and they were back at home this week to play Hanceville.
Yes.
Let's thank Domino's, then we're going to.
And then, you know, before we start every week, we come in here and we're starving to death. We've been out running around. And we had some Domino's pizza here.
Absolutely.
Was,
especially,
fantastic.
You know, an interesting kind of pizza, that Memphis barbecue.
Memphis barbecue.
I was curious about that, but hey, it delivered. I enjoyed it.
Okay. It sort of leaves a little bit of a taste with you, though, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Okay,
It's
yes,
an enjoyable taste to take with you.
Yeah. All right. And we will continue to thank them. If you'll notice, there are some outstanding little new pizzas that they have. The Memphis barbecue chicken, that's what we had tonight. Had some onions on there, and it was really, we got somebody there that seems to be enjoying it. Okay. Well, you know, that probably was the reason I only got one piece of it.
It may have been. Absolutely.
All right, well, we thank Domino's, and we thank Coke, which we've got some bottles up here now. And again, Bill Smith, Buick GMC, and Southern Accents, where you can just get all kinds of interesting bathtubs, doors, windows, just anything you need from your home. And it has a Southern accent about it, so I know where they got their name. But anyway, team of the week this week, the Vinemont Eagles. After last week's win, big win over Cordova, down in Cordova. And so here's the presentation that went on this afternoon at their pep rally. We had Coleman Co-op, Electric Co-op, who co-sponsors this team of the week with us, and they're there to make the presentation.
A lot of excitement there in Vinemont. They're off to a hot start and trying to avenge one of their losses from last year as they welcomed Hanceville to town tonight. Vinemont, I believe, started playing football in 1970. Is that right? 1970
is the first season. They've just became their first graduating class was 1969. So their first team was 1970, and they've had some pretty good years.
Now, you know, I mean, 1970 is still, I mean, their football's not been around that long, comparatively speaking, to just our Southern traditions. Most football programs have been around for over 100 years, if not more than that. But I know that they've had some success, 15 playoff appearances since they began football there at Vinemont, a couple of area and region championships. I think about 6, as a matter of fact.
6 times they were area or region championships.
We always get excited about double-digit win seasons, and I know that they had 11 wins in 1988 and also 11 wins again in 1993. Been to the playoffs several times. Were there last year, and it looks like if they'll keep connecting the dots and making things happen, they're going to make another run at making the playoffs again this year.
These guys right here had their backs against the wall with about 5 minutes left and found a way to get a stop and bring home a victory. So in recognition of Vinemont's win last week over Cordova, Coach Scott, we're proud to name the Vinemont Eagles our team of the week. Congratulations.
congratulations to the Vinemont Eagles. An excellent start to the season, out 3-0. And they had another very tough ball game tonight against the Huntsville Bulldogs, where they hosted them at Vinemont. And we'll come back with you in just a few minutes and give you the scores on those games, that one and several others. You know, the Beyond the Scoreboard is something that we try to show 3 or 4 times a week. And right now, Saturday morning at 9 or 9:30 each week, depending on the fair parade thing. And then we'll have it again Sunday afternoons at 1:30. On Tuesday nights at 6 o'clock, and then Friday afternoons again at 4 o'clock. And so we'll set those times in concrete a little bit later. But right now it's time to go to one of our sponsors for the week, and we appreciate them. And if you would sort of support these people that are supporting our schools and our local activities.
One of these can be the most dangerous tools you can own, because if you're careless, even for a minute, this can come into contact with those. Then it's lights out. At our Touchstone Energy Cooperative, nothing is more important than the safety of our members. We can't do it all. The best way to be safe around outdoor power lines, just don't touch them, ever. The first rule of every do-it-yourselfer should be do it safely.
Coleman Electric Cooperative.
Time is running out on Truck Month at Bill Smith Buick GMC in Coleman, where you'll find the largest selection of GMC trucks in Alabama at prices lower than we have seen in years. Like this all-new 2012 Crew Cab 4x4 Z71 loaded with leather and turn-by-turn navigation. Only $32,990 with 0% financing for 72 months. And this regular cab GMC Sierra only $16,590 with 0% financing for 72 months. Or lease this 2012 Terrain only $339 a month. It's all going on now at Bill Smith Buick GMC in Coleman.
Southern Accents is one of the nation's largest architectural salvage and restoration businesses. Visit our showroom to view our collection of antique doors, mantels, chandeliers, salvaged wood, and more. See our wood shop for your custom-built doors and wood flooring needs. Southern Accents, located in historic downtown Coleman. See us on the web at www.sa1969.com.
When you need to get back into the game, don't let an injury stop you. Trust the professionals of Encore Rehabilitation and Sports Medicine of Coleman. Our skilled team of physical therapists and athletic trainers is dedicated to returning athletes back into action quickly and safely. Encore Rehabilitation of Coleman provides physical therapy, occupational therapy, sports medicine, and workers' comp rehab. Choose Encore for all your rehab needs. Call 256-775-3737.
Well, welcome back to Beyond the Scoreboard. Right now, Benjamin has a little bit of news for us on some scores from tonight's game of our local teams.
All right, let's hear these local scores. It was Addison on the road tonight, winning 43-7 over Shades Mountain Christian. Brewer Falls to Arab, 14-45. Cleveland Falls at Piedmont, 55-7, and it was Aliceville over Cold Springs, 26-6. Coleman beat Hartselle tonight, 14-6. And it was Fairview falling at home to Locust Fort, 12-16. Faultville defeated Meek tonight, 27-20. And it was Good Hope going on the road and falling to Hamilton by a score of 45-0. Huntsville over Vinemont, 35-14. It was Sylvania beating Holly Pond, 33-6. J.B. Pennington fell to Plainview, 41-14. Vinemont fell to Huntsville, 35-14, and it was Russellville beating West Point, 35-10. 0-0. And speaking of the Hanceville and Vinemont game, I think we're going to go to Coach Miller, the head coach out at Hanceville at this moment. He's on the phone with us. Coach Miller, are you there?
I'm here.
Good.
All right, Coach Miller, we appreciate you taking time to be with us. And as we were out there tonight, we know that it was a big region matchup with Vinemont coming in undefeated. And you guys lost that heartbreaker at Good Hope there in the first region game. But you bounced back, defeated Hamilton, and probably got a lot of confidence there for your kids when you beat Hamilton. And you could tell that you came in playing with confidence tonight as you got off to that fast start on those opening drives.
Well, yeah, I think you're right that, playing the way we did against Hamilton, gave our kids a lot of confidence. And, but at the same time, we knew going to Vinemont that we would get their best. And, after we beat them last year when they were undefeated, and, those kids were going to be ready. Coach Scott would have them ready. And, which he did. And, I thought, we got a good start. We got some breaks there early in the game and got out to the lead. And then the second quarter, we forced the ball, and they got momentum and started back. And we had a stop right before halftime there that could have made a big difference in the second half.
It was. I thought that your backs ran hard, and your quarterback made a couple of very good runs that might have been the difference in the ball game. It certainly was the difference in you being up at halftime.
Right. Caleb's done a good job for us all year, and we've not really asked him to run the ball very much. He's a better runner than you really think he is. He's got pretty good speed, but we've really not called on him to run the ball.
Well, in that second drive, you had it might have been the third drive, but you had two big third and long conversions that you made. One was on a draw play, and your back just made a couple of great cuts, and you had some good blocks downfield. And then the second one was on, I think, the quarterback on a scramble. I don't think it was a draw. It's just he couldn't find anybody and done a great job of scrambling and almost scored.
Right. He made a good run there, and he had a good run on an option where their guy didn't take the quarterback, and he just turned it up and stepped it, and
yes,
made a good run there.
Yes, and that was your first or second touchdown, I think, on that one.
Right.
And then at Vinemont started coming back. They ran the ball, had probably a 6 or 7 minute drive where they just ran it right at you most of the way, but converted a couple of third and fourth down situations themselves and made some good plays and looked like they were going to be back in the game.
Well, they came out, they got momentum there in the second quarter, and we had tried to make some adjustments and probably should have taken a timeout and to do that, and so we were trying to just do it between plays, and we were had a little difficulty getting kids lined up in the right places, or getting lined up where we needed them to be, and you have to give them a lot of credit for getting after us like that, but our coaches made some adjustments at halftime defensively that really, I think, helped make a difference in that second half.
Well, they were primarily trying to run the ball at you, which is that's their game. They run the ball a lot, and I know they missed Tyler Boland, number 3, a great deal tonight. He had a bad ankle, I think, in the third quarter last week against Cordova, and I know they missed him. But your kids were ready for anything they brought. And I'll tell you what we noticed about you last week and this week is you have some kids, especially in the secondary, that come up and they make good, solid hits, good tackles, and that was the difference I thought in you winning the ball game against Hamilton last week was just your tackling. And I think it probably had a great deal to do with the difference tonight. You had some kids that just did a great job of making tackles.
Well, that's something we work on. We do tackling circuits, we do tackling drills. Not every day, but we're going to do them at least 2 days a week. I think it shows some of our guys came up and had some big hits last week, and some of those same guys had some big hits this week.
Well, Coach, congratulations on that win. I know that now next week you get to take a break from region play, and I consider your region to be one of the toughest there is in 3A, but you go on over, I think, to West Point next week. Is that right?
Right. We travel to West Point next week. You know, and like I said, it's not a routine game, but it's a game that could be big for us having momentum going into that second half of the region play. And, you know, we need to play well there. You know, they've had a rough season, but, you know, they're not in our league. They're a 5A team, and, you know, our kids, you know, it's like the other games, Fairview and Diamond, our kids know their kids. And, but it's a game we need to be ready for. We're going to have to have a good week of practice this week and prepare for those guys.
And I'm sure that they're going to be hungry, thinking, okay, we're getting back out of some of the 5A play for just a little bit, and we're going to have a chance to play this week. And the games I've seen them play, they have played hard, and they've played pretty well.
Yeah, I thought they played really well against Coleman. I saw that game, and you know, I thought they played well against Coleman.
I thought so also. And, you know, this week they took it on the road, I think, and got Russellville and lost 35-0. But I think that you know, they may have lost a little bit of confidence last week or something, but they're trying to get that back, I'm sure, and they'll be trying to get a win next week against a 3A opponent, which you know, to be honest, you are playing about as well as anybody right now, and you've got 2 or 3 kids that can break it at any time. I thought Vinemont, now we didn't see the second half, but we saw the first half, and they did a pretty good job of keeping you from making the long plays, except for the one scramble that your quarterback made. But second half, you know, would you mind telling us how you got those scores, second half? 2 touchdowns.
I have a hard time remembering that. But I thought we came out in the first quarter and picked up the intensity. You know, we sort of lost that in the second quarter. You know, and we thought our kids are acting on about, you know, whoever comes out in the third quarter plays the better of the 2 teams has probably got a shot at winning that game. And we got a couple of turnovers from them in the second half, and I think a couple of times, well, there's probably more than a couple, but I think on 2 occasions we ran one play and then turned it back over to them, and then the other time we turned it over on the next play. We got a little rain starting in that third quarter, and you know, we told our kids before the game that we might be in the rain before it was over, but it was going to rain on both teams. You know, it's not an excuse to not play well, because it's going to rain pretty wet for both teams.
Well, sometimes it's a good idea to get those in some earlier in the year, and especially if you come out with a victory with it. But good to talk with you, Coach. Congratulations on your big win tonight. Good luck next week against West Point, and good luck the rest of the season, because it sort of puts y'all right back in the thick of possibly an area championship.
Well, you know, that's what our kids set a goal for before the season, and you know, we sort of got ourselves in a hole. We did that last year as well, and but you know, I think it's maybe, you know, I don't like losing it, good hope, but it's sort of helped motivate our kids, I think, and you know, it's got us back where we got a chance.
Okay. Well, congratulations again. Good luck to you the rest of the year, and thanks for being with us tonight on Beyond the Scoreboard.
Thank you, guys.
All right. All right, good to have Coach Miller on, and now we've got a few cuts, I believe, from the Sylvania and Holly Pond game. So if we would show you some of these film. All right, here's, you know, Holly Pond and Sylvania, both of them were winless, but I think Sylvania had come really close last week and maybe had a little bit of confidence coming in. And Holly Pond, young football team, under new coach, new directions and things like that. So, you know, they're still having a tough time getting it started and getting it going. But, you know, primarily young football team.
It is. It is a young football team, and I think that one thing that people fail to kind of remember is that they did not have a full spring training to go through with their new
I think they had
staff.
4 days,
and that makes a huge difference, especially with a new staff coming in, trying to put in new terminology, new plans as far as the type of offense, the type of defense, even special teams, and the coaches having to establish relationships. I'm sure that you can speak of as being a former coach. As you begin to understand how the players respond, you kind of see who your leaders are. You kind of know what responsibilities you can place on each one. And I think there's a learning curve going on there at Holly Pond right now, but hopefully they'll get things on track as they continue to grow and do their best to build a football program.
and hopefully they'll be able to gain a little bit of confidence. I think when I've seen them, they play solid, and then they'll have one mental error, or maybe they'll have one physical error, but they're getting after it. They're playing hard, as you can see right here on this film. They're getting after it. They're playing hard. A good throw by their young quarterback. He's a freshman. Here's a good running play, but they've got a little bit. I have noticed that sometimes I've had kids. It'd be the middle of the year before I really recognize that they can help us. I may have them in the wrong position for a while, and especially if it's a team that of new kids to me, somebody else playing a different style of offense or defense may have had them playing in a position that was good for that style. But then when I come in and change things, a lot of times, I have some kids that's out of position, and we just haven't made those changes. And the kids have to be in agreement to that too. They have to know, hey, the coach knows what he's doing.
That's right.
They have to think that.
Yeah.
And so making those changes sometimes is tough for them, but it's best for the team. And sometimes it just takes a while to figure out, who to put where.
Exactly.
And what 11 to have on the field.
They just need to keep plugging along, and I think that things will come together.
All right. Right now, I think we're going to have just a little bit of time for our band of the week, which is the Fairview Aggie Marching Band. And
One of these could be the most dangerous tools you can own. Because if you're careless, even for a minute, this can come into contact with those. Then it's lights out. At our Touchstone Energy Cooperative, nothing is more important than the safety of our members. We can't do it all. The best way to be safe around outdoor power lines, just don't touch them. Ever. The first rule of every do-it-yourselfer should be do it safely.
Coleman Electric Cooperative.
Southern Accents is one of the nation's largest architectural salvage and restoration businesses. Visit our showroom to view our collection of antique doors, mantels, chandeliers, salvaged wood, and more. See our wood shop for your custom-built doors and wood flooring needs. Southern Accents, located in historic downtown Coleman. See us on the web at www.sa1969.com.
Time is running out on Truck Month at Bill Smith Buick GMC at Coleman, where you'll find the largest selection of GMC trucks in Alabama at prices lower than we have seen in years. Like this all-new 2012 Crew Cab 4x4 Z71 loaded with leather and turn-by-turn navigation. Only $32,990 with 0% financing for 72 months. And this regular cab GMC Sierra only $16,590 with 0% financing for 72 months. Or lease this 2012 Terrain only $339 a month. It's all going on now at Bill Smith Buick GMC in Coleman.
From the Heart Monogramming and Gifts has just the gift you need for that special someone. Find a tote bag or build a bow. Peruse our selection of baby items. Or choose a nice piece of jewelry by Chameleon. And while you're here, let us take care of all your monogramming needs. From the Heart Monogramming and Gifts. The best gifts are from the heart.
All right, welcome back to Beyond the Scoreboard. And right now we have on the phone with us, on the line, is Coach Britton. He is excited, I'm sure, and just relieved. A big ball game, big game for you, big win. And, you know, I think it had been a while since y'all had beaten Hartselle. Hartselle sort of had the best of you for the last couple of years there, haven't they?
We did. We beat them twice in 2007, and since that time we've played them real close, but never able to get a win.
Well, it was close again tonight, but I think the closeness, yes, the closeness tonight, the closeness was just you weren't quite able to ever put it away, but you were close all the time.
We did. Our kids. Our kids moved the ball really well. We would get inside the 20. Unable to get it in the end zone a couple of times and missed a few field goals.
Well, now, a lot of that had to do with Hartselle so quick on defense.
Oh, absolutely. Their front's really good, and that 3-3 staff, they usually bring edge pressure or bring a linebacker. And those guys do a great job at that. And just very difficult. When they get close to the goal line, they bring sometimes 2 linebackers, 3 linebackers. They'll be in a man coverage. And so it's very difficult to pick them up.
Well, we were at another ball game during the first half. We got there for the start of the second half and watched most of it. And it just seemed, as I said, the first drive that Hartselle had in the second half, they brought it down and kicked the field goal and made it a 1-point game. And they looked really good doing that. But other than that, did they have 2 or 3 first downs besides that on your defense, the second half?
I don't know right now because they, to start the game off, we drove down and scored a touchdown first drive, make it 7-0. And then they got a field goal 7-3, and that sort of stood up until that first drive of the second half. And it was just a tight ball game. It seemed like both teams were able to move the ball a little bit midfield from the 20 to the 20. But then when it got near the goal line, things tightened up, and mostly a defensive night from that point on.
It was a defensive night. That's something that I noticed, Coach, is kind of a defensive juggernaut. Even the, the play that you guys were able to score on in the second half was somewhat of an unorthodox type of play that you were able to put one in the end zone there.
Well, it was. We actually brought in a young man. He's a freshman, quarterback, Ross Crawford. We put him to the left side, and because they flowed so quickly to the ball, we took a tight end that was on the right, and we ran him across the field to take that corner to midfield, and we brought it back down that right sideline. Threw the ball to the left to Ross catches it. He throws it across the field to our back, coming out of the backfield, and he was out there by himself.
He was, but it was
their linebacker goes the ball so hard. That linebacker on the right side actually should have had our back, and he took off the left on that initial pass.
Coach, he was out there by himself, but even if he would have been double teamed, that throw was so on the money that I don't think even a defender would have had a shot at getting to it.
That was a good throw. I know a lot of people weren't watching, but as soon as he turned the ball loose, he really paid the price. Kitchen Harkin really hit him. We knew we wouldn't have much time to get the ball off, and I thought Ross did a great job stepping in there and throwing it, and big touchdown pass for a young man.
It was a big extra point, too, there. And the snap on the extra point was high. Your holder, who sometimes don't get a lot of credit, but your holder did a super job of catching a high snap and getting it down in place for him to kick the extra point, which gave you an 8-point lead and was extremely important.
That was Ross Crocker too. He's a freshman. He does a good job with the extra point, and Chase Brigham kicked it through. Chase had a tough night tonight. Missed a couple field goals, but 2 good extra points, and just very tough on a young man like that. Pressure-packed situation, big ball game, but great kid. We just told him just hang in there, everything will be fine, and he did a good job for us.
Well, congratulations, great win, and Hartsville's always a great win when you beat them. I don't care if both of you are 0-3 or 3-0, which you were coming in tonight. But it's a great win, and good for your kids. And I know it's exciting, but I tell you what, you're going to have a job next week because you're going to have to get those kids ready to play a 3A school that doesn't play like a 3A school. Madison Academy has outstanding athletes, and you got to bring those kids back down to earth. Any special way you going to do that?
Oh, I don't know. We played Madison last year, and I think we're the last team to beat them since then. They went on to win the state championship. Coach Cohu does a great job. They got 2 backs that SEC schools are looking at. You're exactly right. They're not your typical 3A school. They got an outstanding program. They beat Athens earlier this year pretty soundly in a preseason game, and so we're going to have our work cut out for us, no doubt about that. We're banged up a little bit. We're going to kind of reevaluate on film on Sunday, and hopefully Monday we'll work some of the soreness out and get our kids refocused. But it's going to take a little while to get over this Hartsville win for our kids, no doubt about that. And we will definitely try to get focused on Madison. We got to go on the road, and they just got outstanding talent.
Well, thank you for being with us tonight, Coach, and congratulations again, big win. And I'm sure that whatever it takes to get them ready, you'll have them ready next Friday.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you being with us. All right, now we got a little bit of footage from another ball game over at a close ball game, Locust Fork and Fairview. Locust Fork was at Fairview. And, as you see Fairview coming out onto the field, they're trying to get their, what's that called? The He-Man?
They're just trying to get fired up, I guess.
Trying to get their He-Man going. And, and they've got a young football team as far as experience goes. And so they've struggled a little bit, having lost a close game to Fairview. And then not playing very well against, was it Gunnersville last week? They didn't play very well. And so this week they've got Locust Fork, good ball game, good test. And so Coach Redding, I'm sure, had his kids ready to go. They're getting after it, as you can see on the film. They're running hard, playing hard, good hitting. But came up a little bit short tonight.
You know, and you mentioned they are a young football team right now, and in addition to having to learn the game and adjust to become their own type of ball player, there is also that added pressure of, hey, we're Fairview, and we've had a lot of success in the past, and you know that those guys are just hungry for that, so we hope that they can get back to used to their winning ways here pretty soon.
Well, it was a good close ball game tonight against Locust Fork, but Locust Fork is a team that's sort of on the rise. They've played some pretty tough competition and played pretty well so far this year.
Yeah, they're 2-2, and you know, they're 1-2 now in their region, so it was definitely a good foe that they were up against tonight out there in Fairview, and they just fell a little bit short.
Okay, Dalford Smith Stadium, and we know Dalford is probably watching us right now. He's going to be with us some later in the season, and see if we can't get him on here to talk a little bit about you know, some of the different places he's been. But you know, Fairview, Coach Redding is doing a super job out there. He's had a lot of success in the years he's been there, and I'm sure that before the season's over, they're going to be able to figure out exactly what they do best. And he's got some, you know, his quarterback play has been good every year, and so I'm sure that they'll be able to get playing a little more soundly, and you know, being competitive. They're competitive tonight, and so we're hoping that they'll be able to get things together and be able to come home with a couple of wins as the season progresses. There's a big play you see there from the quarterback to the receiver. Anyway, Fairview went down tonight, but and what does that make them now? They are now,
I think they're 1-3,
which is an unusual start for them, but the season's not over, and I'm sure that they're going to be able to get things together, and they're competitive now. A little more confidence sometimes can make the difference in winning and losing. But I'm sure they're going to get things together as the season progresses. Right now, we've got something that we enjoy, and I think this is something that's really special to you. We have a few churches that are helping us with our FCA Student of the Week. But this week, our FCA Student of the Week is Tyler Boland of Vinemont High School. He's a senior, number 3, very good player.
Yes.
Really makes things happen when he's on the field, but he has really had the injury bug bite him this senior year.
Yes, and you hate to see that for Tyler. I know Tyler personally. I've been around him at different church functions. He's been out with us to a couple of youth events there at Holly Pond, and he's a great kid, excellent athlete, and I just look forward to seeing him get back on the field really soon.
Well, you want to mention a couple of those churches?
Absolutely. People who make this possible for us, St. Andrew's United Methodist Church, West Point First Baptist, Good Hope Baptist Church, and also you have First Baptist Huntsville. That's just a few among the many churches that we'll be mentioning throughout the scoreboard season here.
All right, so we have an interview here with Tyler Boland coming up from Vinemont Senior.
Well, I've always been raised, you know, in the church to, you know, to be a Christian, but it was the impact that my grandmother had on me when she was diagnosed with cancer, the attitude that she had towards it and everything, that drove me to want to be, you know, want to be a Christian and want to be like her. My preacher from when I was 6 to 12, he was a big supporter with my sports, and always gave me a positive mindset of, you know, how to look at the game and how to be a Christian on and off the field. Sometimes it's really hard on the field just to, you know, to be that Christian you need to be, just because of all the stuff you hear and everything they're doing to you. Just one of those things, you've got to set that example, you know, 100% of the time. Don't be two-faced. Be that, you know, stand out. Especially with FCA, you have this core group of guys that, you know, that want the same things you do, and they're, you know, striving to be the same type of Christian person that I'm striving to be. And you can go and you can know that, you know, hold yourself accountable to be that, you know, to be the person that you need to be. And it's always a good thing to be, just have that Christian mindset in anything you do, and you never know when, you know, somebody's just going to ask you a question. You know, you might not even have to say anything about your faith, but just the way you act, you know, they know.
Dreyer Physical Therapy Institute, leading the way to good health. Southern Accents is one of the nation's largest architectural salvage and restoration businesses. Visit our showroom to view our collection of antique doors, mantels, chandeliers, salvaged wood, and more. See our wood shop for your custom-built doors and wood flooring needs. Southern Accents, located in historic downtown Coleman. See us on the web at www.sa1969.com.
Many forces of nature threaten our homes, but one of the most menacing can't be forecast. Termites cause billions in damage homeowners insurance won't cover. So ask for Termidor, America's #1 termite defense. Nothing is faster or more effective.
Please, guys, kill me.
At Target Pest Control, we aim to please. We're the hometown guy that's big enough to do the job, but still small enough to care. For an appointment in Coleman, call 256-739-5487.
At Freedom Insurance Agency, helping you with the freedom to choose is what we do best. With more than 15 years' experience, Gloria Williams and the Freedom Insurance Agency is still providing affordable insurance for the residents of Coleman and surrounding counties. Get the peace of mind you deserve by protecting the things that matter most. Our friendly and experienced staff will be happy to give you a quote. Call today, 256-737-0011.
Time is running out on Truck Month at Bill Smith Buick GMC in Coleman, where you'll find the largest selection of GMC trucks in Alabama at prices lower than we have seen in years. Like this all-new 2012 Crew Cab 4x4 Z71 loaded with leather and turn-by-turn navigation. Only $32,990 with 0% financing for 72 months. And this regular cab GMC Sierra only $16,590 with 0% financing for 72 months. Or lease this 2012 Terrain only $339 a month. It's all going on now at Bill Smith Buick GMC in Coleman.
Welcome back to Beyond the Scoreboard. Our main sponsors, we'd like to thank again Coke, Bill Smith, and Southern Accents for their support of the programs around. And right now we're going to go to the region standings, and they're beginning to take a little bit of shape now that we can understand who's going to be doing what. So some of our schools are right in the middle of it, and some of them are pretty dangerous ground right now.
Yeah.
So if you would, go ahead and go over some of those region scores.
Okay, it was Addison again winning tonight 43-7 over Shades Mountain Christian. So Addison moves to 4-0 in their on their record and 3-0 in their region, and Shades Mountain Christian is still winless on the year. It was Faultville also. This is 1A Region 6. Beating Meat tonight, 27-0. So Faultville moves to 4-0 and remains undefeated in the region, and Meat drops to 1-3, and they're now 0-3 in their region. And we have Summiton Christian in a non-region game tonight, but nevertheless they did go on the road to Collinsville, and they fell 32-33. Moving on to 2A, Region 4, Cold Springs falls tonight to Aliceville, 26-6. So Cold Springs is now 1-2 in that region, 2-2 overall, and Aliceville is 3-1 and 3-0 in the region. Lamar County is now 4-0 in their region as they beat Solligent tonight, 46-14, and Solligent falls to 0-4 and 0-3, of course, in their region. And Oakman wins big tonight, 69-6 over RC Hatch. So Oakman is now 2-1 in that region, 3-1 overall, and RC Hatch is still winless. In 3A Region 6, you have Geraldine falling to New Hope tonight, 21-13. So Geraldine moves to 3-1, 2-1 in the region. New Hope is 3-1, 3-0 in the region. It was Holly Pond, of course, we mentioned tonight, falling to Sylvania. So Holly Pond remains winless, and Sylvania now has one win there in their region. It was Pisgah over Brindley Mountain, 53-13. So Pisgah is 2-1 in that region. Brindley Mountain is 1-2 in that region. Plainview over Pennington tonight, 41-14. So Plainview is 2-1 in the region, and Pennington is 1-2. Now we're getting to 3A Region 7, to where a lot of Coleman County is represented. And we know that Good Hope fell on the road tonight with that injury bug and traveling all the way to Hamilton. They fell 45-0, so they are now 2-1 in their region. Hamilton improves their record in the region to 2-1.
It was pretty much a must-win for Hamilton if they're going to stay in the race for the region championship.
Absolutely, it was. And we know that Hanceville defeated Vinemont tonight. So you've got 4 teams in that region now that are all 2-1, and any one of them could come out and wind up being first in that region.
And I think you still got Winfield undefeated.
Absolutely. Winfield's 4-0 on the season, 3-0 in their region after they defeated Cordova tonight, 34-14. And it was Winston County. We heard that the score was 52-37. Give a point or two, but we do know that Winston County defeated Danville tonight, which means that Winston County got their first win in the region and on the season, and Danville remains winless. In Fairview's region, that's 4A Region 6, Crossville fell to Aniana, 49-0. So Aniana is now 3-1 on the season, and they're unbeaten in their region. Douglas fell to Sardis, 51-7. So Douglas remains winless. Sardis is actually 4-0, 3-0 in the region. Gunnersville beat St. Clair County tonight, 44-6. So Gunnersville's off to a hot start. They're 3-1 in their region, and St. Clair County is now 2-1 in the region. And we talked to you about how Fairview fell in a tough game at home to Locust Fork. So Fairview's 1-2 in their region, and Locust Fork's now 1-2 as well. And then 5A Region 8, a very tough region. You've got Athens fell to Muscle Shoals. Muscle Shoals is again looking really strong in that region. They beat Athens tonight, 35-0. So Muscle Shoals remains unbeaten. Athens falls to 2-2 and 1-2 in the region. We know Coleman got that big win tonight over Hartselle, 14-6. So Coleman remains unbeaten. So setting up for a showdown eventually, it looks like with Muscle Shoals, as Hartselle falls to 3-1 and 2-1 in their region. East Limestone was 34. Lawrence County was 20 tonight. So East Limestone gets their first win in the region, and Lawrence County remains winless in that region. And then you have Russellville defeating West Point tonight, 35-0. So Russellville moves to 2-1 in the region, and West Point is now 0-3 in the region.
You got any other ball games that might be of interest to people around here?
Well, we do know that Scottsboro beat Boaz tonight, 42-7. Madison Academy, the team that Coleman will play next week, they beat Deschler, 45-14, and Deschler's not an easy team
they're usually pretty strong
to beat. So that will be a good matchup for Coleman again next week. And you did have Austin beating Sparkman tonight, 34-31.
Good ball game. Okay, we also do another segment that we enjoy here. It's Unsung Heroes. We got a lot of people that are really helpful in the programs around our schools. And tonight our Unsung Heroes are band boosters. You know, band boosters not all parents either.
Right.
You know, you would think that it's just about all parents, but you know, if you'll watch them, they get the setup for the half times. They do a whole lot of physical work there, moving equipment about, hauling it to and from ball games. You know, repairing, as you see right there, they're repairing things, and it's got to be safe because they've got a girl that's going, or a boy one, somebody's going to walk up on the top of that thing and stand there
And if these things have to be hauled to ball games, well, they have to be hauled to practice as well. And these band members practice throughout the week as well. And I don't know if really a band is underappreciated until you've been to a ball game where there's not a band. I know that when I played in high school, I loved having the band. They were just there. It kind of gives you just an energy about the atmosphere with a band there. And also, they can give you a competitive advantage sometimes. If you're on defense and it's 4th and 1 and they're trying to make an audible on offense, if you've got a strong band playing there, they can definitely help the football team. And we know that the band is aided, of course, by those band boosters. And we just appreciate those guys' efforts as they pour into the lives of these young people that perform each week.
Band boosters, you're our heroes tonight. We thank you so much, and we appreciate what you do. And we'll be right back after this word from our sponsors. Please watch.
Time is running out on Truck Month at Bill Smith Buick GMC in Coleman, where you'll find the largest selection of GMC trucks in Alabama at prices lower than we have seen in years. Like this all-new 2012 Crew Cab 4x4 Z71 loaded with leather and turn-by-turn navigation. Only $32,990 with 0% financing for 72 months. And this regular cab GMC Sierra only $16,590 with 0% financing for 72 months. Or lease this 2012 Terrain only $339 a month. It's all going on now at Bill Smith Buick GMC in Coleman.
Southern Accents is one of the nation's largest architectural salvage and restoration businesses. Visit our showroom to view our collection of antique doors, mantels, chandeliers, salvaged wood, and more. See our wood shop for your custom-built doors and wood flooring needs. Southern Accents, located in historic downtown Coleman. See us on the web at www.sa1969.com. Wells Turner Family Pharmacy is a proud supporter of local city and county athletics. You can keep your money right here in Coleman because Wells Turner Family Pharmacy is locally owned and operated. At Wells Turner, you won't have to wait long to get your prescriptions filled, but while you're here, you can send a package by UPS, buy a gift in the gift shop, pay your phone bill, or develop your photos using our DKS photo kiosk. Wells Turner Family Pharmacy. We are a Health Mart community pharmacy.
One of these can be the most dangerous tools you can own, because if you're careless, even for a minute, this can come into contact with those. Then it's lights out. At our Touchstone Energy Cooperative, nothing is more important than the safety of our members. We can't do it all. The best way to be safe around outdoor power lines, just don't touch them, ever. The first rule of every do-it-yourselfer should be do it safely.
Coleman Electric Cooperative.
Well, welcome back to Beyond the Scoreboard. Let me remind you just a few things we're doing as we go through the week. Number one, we've got Fair Pageant was this week, and they're going to rebroadcast that at Wednesday at 10:30 p.m., Thursday at 4 p.m., and then again at 10:30 p.m., Friday at 11:30 p.m., which is going to be after us next Friday, and then Saturday at 11 a.m., and then 6:30 p.m., and then Sunday at 9 p.m.
Lots of opportunities to see it if you missed it.
Lots of girls really did a super job representing their schools.
Absolutely.
And showed a lot of character, a lot of class, and any one of them would have been good winners and good representatives of Coleman County. And it was good to see them as we went through. But we also have some things coming up on the SEC this week. Alabama has a good one coming on with Colorado State.
Absolutely. You know, they will be facing Jim McElwain, who is very familiar with Alabama, as he was their offensive coordinator there for a few years. So it'll be a good day to grab some Domino's pizza and an ice cold Coke and sit down and watch those guys
going
get
down the
after it.
list. Auburn at LSU. Is Auburn going to have a prayer?
Oh, they'll have a prayer, of course. The reason they play the game. But I wouldn't be surprised if the wheels fall off of the Gus bus, so to speak. It'll be tough, but hey, I've seen crazier things happen.
Well, you know, we've talked about new coaches coming in, and he's new as a head coach, but he's not actually new to those kids down there. As a matter of fact, he recruited a lot of them.
That's right.
So Auburn may not be quite as unprepared as what some people might think. So as they go through the year, maybe they got a chance, I think. I hope that they play well, and I hope that they can go down to Death Valley and come out with at least smelling not too bad.
I got you.
Arkansas, Rutgers. You know,
I don't really know that much about that. I just know that Arkansas, of course, has a new head coach, and Rutgers they're a team that is sneak up on you every now and then, and they actually beat Arkansas last year.
They have come a long way in the last 10 years. Then we got Mississippi out this week. Mississippi State's playing Troy.
Yeah, well, Mississippi State needs to get a victory, but Troy is not a cupcake.
They're not. As a matter of fact, I don't know if they beat Mississippi State or just scared them to death. But a couple of years ago, they had them in Troy, and they really put it on them. Texas A&M, SMU.
Texas A&M will need to bounce back. It'll be tough, probably, to keep your emotions high after losing a game like they did last week. But we'll look forward to seeing what they can do.
And SMU sort of on the rebound. I mean, you know, they had the death penalty, and they really struggled for a while, but they started to show a little life in that last year, and you know, it could be one of those surprise games.
Right.
Florida and Tennessee.
Now that's a game that I miss the intensity of that game. I can remember growing up that used to be the game that would determine the SEC East every single year, and it was early in the year when it would happen. Yeah. And I miss the intensity of that game.
Well, I think both programs are struggling. Somebody needs to get this one in order to. All right, Georgia is playing North Texas, which, you know, it should be a pretty good game. Kentucky's off this week. Missouri's playing Indiana.
Well, I just hope that Missouri can represent the SEC the way they need to. I'm always pulling for the SEC when we play those out-of-conference teams, so maybe Missouri can get a win there.
All right, South Carolina's off this week. And then the last one, Tennessee is playing UMass.
Well, Tennessee, you say?
I'm sorry, Vandy. Vandy is playing UMass.
Well, I hope Vandy will get a win. I know that they were expecting to get off to a little better start than what they have so far this year. So, but I expect them to be able to handle UMass.
Okay.
But going back to one of the things that you mentioned, Ole Miss is off this week, and Ole Miss is off to a good start. So that means they have 2 weeks to prepare for Alabama.
Alabama, yep, should be a good one next week. All right, the next week in high school ball is going to be non-region play for the most part, except for that Class 1A which had 9 teams, and they just, you know, their schedule's all messed up.
Yeah.
But off week, who's going to be playing, let's see, some of those games?
Well, you know, we mentioned Coleman and Madison Academy. That's going to be an interesting game. You're going to have Brewer and Vinemont going up against each other. Okay. Cold Springs will be headed off to play against Lynn. Fairview and Holly Pond in that rivalry will hook up once again. West Point, Hanceville, we mentioned that. And we've got Good Hope and New Hope playing. So it'll be the Battle of the Hopes there.
Yeah. All right. All right, well, good to have you again with us this week on Beyond the Scoreboard. We hope you'll join us again next week, and y'all have a great week, and go to church Sunday, okay?